First at bat is our review of MLB 07, the show for the PS3. And while we generally prefer the hot dogs and beer part of going to baseball games, the actual ball hitting and running part is pretty charming. Can a game make us love runs batted in more than a $15 Budweiser? Let's find out.
Dead in the heat of midsummer, we take on one more baseball game review as Sony manages to wiggle its way around the MLB licensing agreement with MLB 07, the show.
He's probably using some words back there behind the mound that we can't use in the video game.
This game might look familiar. That's because it already made an appearance on the PlayStation 2. So, what's the more expensive PS3 version have extra? Sadly, not much, as it feels near identical.
Whatever you do, don't rub it!
This is a prettier game than the PS2, to be sure. The players are a little bit shinier and sharper. The crowd looks nice, and the presentation has been spiced up, but not to the point where this looks anything close to next-gen. Presentation aside, if you're looking for good, solid baseball, you'll find it here. Both pitching and batting are intuitive without being overly complicated. It's everything you've come to expect.
Now a ball lined to the right side.
Where it really shines is in the career mode. It has the usual. You'll design your future Hall of Famer, build his stats, but they've been kind enough to trim all the fat from the game.
And a good first pitch.
They cut out all the boring parts of baseball. You'll only play the part that you're actually involved in. The perspective changes when you're running the bases and fielding your position, which gives you some nice variety and replayability. It's really the ultimate fantasy baseball experience.
Fantasy! Fantasy! Fantasy!
Oh, that's Sammy Sosa and Jason Giambi. They're on my fantasy baseball team. Actually, guys, I don't really need you anymore, now that I have the show.
Oh, this is...
While career mode is nice, it's franchise that most gamers are looking at. The game does a decent job. Most of the players are accounted for, even the latest Japanese import, Daisuke.
We'll see if he can possibly live up to the pricey expectations.
And even if it isn't as pretty as 2K7, the player movements look and feel right.
And that ball is out of here!
It's pretty obvious that Sony just took its PS2 game and gave it the next-gen shine, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. But for $60, PS3 owners deserve better or cheaper. It looks like they'll have to wait until next season to get it. MLB 07 the show, that's a 3.
It just falls right off the table.
Out of 5.
Catch an all-new X-Play, weeknights at 8, only on G4.